Hello, my friends, and welcome to coverage of GP Amsterdam. We are all the way at the finals, and you're in the booth with Riley Knight, and alongside him, it is Moraine Libert. Great pleasure to welcome you, and thank you as well for choosing to join us here. The weekend of magic culminates in this final match between Lukas Blohon and Benjamin Luft. We've got black-green Delirium in the hands of the Checkmaster Blohon, and Benjamin Luft has had a quiet weekend, but he's got all the way to the finals with blue-red control. This deck looks to be in a good spot, and hopefully for Benjamin he'll be able to leverage it well. But it's Blohon who makes the first shot over the bow with a winding constrictor.
Yeah, Benjamin already making the best way out of being on the play there. A sensor on the winding constrictor. That wouldn't have been the case. He was 7th coming into the top 8, but luckily for him, Lukas Blohon actually 8th. So he got to play first, got to sensor the first play, and now a Grim Flayer. Let's see if he's got a counter for that one, or a Magma Spray.
Sensor such a beating in the early opening turns of the game, and doesn't run into the same problems that a card like Mana Leak does. Obviously, cycle it away for just 1 mana. A really, really nice card to round out some overall consistency in the deck here.
One thing certainly to look for is how many Fatal Push will Lukas Blohon be drawing, because that's pretty much a dead card. Of course, there's the Fumarole, but that one is not getting activated very soon. There's not any other creature in Benjamin Luft's deck, so every Fatal Push Lukas Blohon will be drawing is pretty much a dead card.
Anticipate, also a card we haven't seen a lot of in these control lists. There's only one in Benjamin Luft's entire 75 here. But this is the power of the control deck, because not only do they get ahead on cards with things like Glimmer of Genius, with things like Hieroglyphic Illumination, there's a virtual card advantage because, as you say, these Fatal Pushes, they're basically blank draws.
Yep. On the other hand, Benjamin Luft does run 25 lands, so he some games he will just be flooded out, but he doesn't really mind getting up to 6 or 7 mana. I mean, he's even running the Sphinx of the Final Word main deck. Torrential Gearhulk, an absolute house against black-green. There is 2 Never Return, but there's not that much. Dissenter's Deliverance. There's not that much going from Lukas Blohon to get rid of the Torrential Gearhulks.
So the 4 copies of Dissenter's Deliverance will be on the mind of Benjamin Luft. He has seen Lukas Blohon's deck list. Of course, all of the top 8 players get access to their opponent's deck lists. So this isn't going to come as a huge surprise. And I imagine any plan that he has that revolves around Torrential Gearhulk will also include a plan to deal with the Dissenter's Deliverances that will no doubt be in the hand of Blohon here. He'll be looking to defend his 5/6s with the counterspells in his deck. Most of his deck is in fact counterspells, so he'll be very cognizant of that.
Yeah, now the Grim Flayer, is it already turning? Yeah, it is. Now a 4/4, too big for Sweltering Suns. Kind of a problem for Benjamin Luft. He doesn't have that much removal, doesn't have the energy yet to kill it with Harness Lightning, so he'll have to deal with it maybe by blocking with Torrential Gearhulk.
Well, we'll see how it goes here. He also has the option of activating the Wandering Fumarole, but that would turn on any Fatal Pushes in Blohon's deck. Oh, in his hand, I should say, and he does have one here. So this 4/4 Grim Flayer is a bit of a problem for Luftsky here. 4 cards in hand, 5 lands on the battlefield. You would say, were it not for the pressure that this Flayer were putting on, he'd be in a decent spot. Yeah, Traverse
with Delirium. Let's see what he searches up. He's looking at the Tireless Tracker. I don't think he's got a land to play after that. So, and he doesn't have that much. I mean, his deck is kind of streamlined. It's not built around Traverse the Oval One. I mean, it's a great card, but he's not running some spicy one-offs. There is a spicy one-off in the sideboard, Ishkana, maybe Gonti in the sideboard, but apart from that, he's just running the 4-offs and 2 Rishkar, 2 for his Gearhulk.
Grim Flayer number 2 has also been brought to the front of the deck here for Lukas Blohon. He may be considering bringing out the mate of little chap on the battlefield, and it looks like he's going to do that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's the right choice, given that he's only got 3 mana. His hand is a little bit light on threat, so he really needed to add some more pressure to his hand. And I also like the fact that he did this before attacking with the Grim Flayer, so that if there's a good card on top, he can keep it there, and he will not shuffle it away with Traverse the Oval Wall. So a good choice there by Lukas.
I think Torrential Gearhulk amongst the cards available to Blohon on the top there. What's also very important to note about the Grim Flayer that was chosen there above something like a Tireless Tracker is that it also doesn't die to Sweltering Suns. Also very difficult to kill with something like a Harness Lightning. So a 2-mana 4/4 against a control deck. I mean, yeah, not a bad spot to be in, especially when Luft's removal suite isn't at its best. You know, we don't see these unconditional black removal spells.
Tough choice here for Lukas. The Verdurous Gearhulk is obviously a very good card, but he doesn't have the 5th land, so he would have to put a land on top first and then draw into the Verdurous Gearhulk. I don't think that's what he's looking for. I'm not sure if he's holding a second copy of Verdurous Gearhulk.
He's binned them all here.
He's got Fatal Push, Never Return, and I think that's a second copy of Fatal Push, so that's not the best of draws for Lukas. 3 kind of useless cards.
Disallow on the old Grim Flayer number 2 there. Luft plays a land and passes. He's on that draw go tip. Blohon. I think I can see, yes, Fatal Push number 1 and 2 in addition to that Never to Return, and it is a Verdurous Gearhulk to round things out.
Question is here, does Lukas attack? Because it's likely that Benjamin has the Gearhulk. Then again, Gearhulk into Anticipate and being able to kill it afterwards is still fine. And if he doesn't put enough pressure on Benjamin, that's not going to be good either.
Luft down to 10 now after another hit from the Grim Flayer.
While Grim Flayer does not provide any card advantage, it does provide card selection, which is also quite good. I mean, every time you get to put a useless card in your graveyard, it's also quite... every Fatal Push that he gets to mill away is a win, 100% a win for him.
Basically like a card drawn at this stage, especially when, you know, in so many matchups, a card like Fatal Push, you know, it has a varying level of utility. It's not like basically 0% as it is here in this matchup here. I mean, it can kill Wandering Fumaroles, that's true, but overall, you're right. Milling over a Fatal Push, a huge victory for Lukas Blohon, quite a coup. Tireless Tracker, gold card. Could be another Flayer there, I think, between the two there. And I think a Swamp on top, another land at least.
Yeah, the Swamp he's keeping for the Verdurous Gearhulk. And he's also looking at what I believe another Grim Flayer. Or I don't think he's gonna keep a Winding Constrictor.
I think it was a Grim Flayer here. And it's back to Luft now. He's going to have to do something here because this Grim Flayer is really beginning to put some pressure on. Sensor hits the bin. It would have probably snagged that Verdurous Gearhulk next turn. Three cards for Luft as he considers what he's going to do at the end of Blohon's turn here.
I think he's holding Sphinx of Final Word. Let's see what Lukas has to do about that one.
And he's just cycling the Sweltering Suns.
He's cycling for his 7th land to play the Sphinx. But
cycles another Sensor here.
That does mean he'll be looking at a big Grim Flayer. The Sphinx not going to be big enough to block that one.
There's the Ether Hub. 1 energy. And if he indeed does have this Sphinx of the Final Word, and there we see it, sure, holds off the 4/4, no worries. Until...
6/6.
Until, yes.
I think Lukas just going to make 2 6/6 here. Both of them big enough to get past the Sphinx.
So Benjamin Luft unfortunately been completely outclassed here. I think that's a perfectly defensible play. Playing a 5/5 at brick walls the 4/4 there. But now tapped out with nothing else to say.
Maybe even 8, making it an 8/8 is defensible. But he's, I like 6/6 because they both get past the Sphinx. So even if one dies, you still get the second one.
I just don't see a way for Luft to come back from this, to be honest. There's no real way for him to deal with 2 6/6s, both with Trample, when he's only on 4. Blohon also with the luxury of choosing his next draw step out of these couple of cards. We see Forest, Winding Constrictor hit the bin. And this is the power of Grim Flayer. It's taken this game by the throat and has completely turned things around. There's the 4th Sensor.
It does have the Gearhulk, but is it enough? It's only a double chump. Yeah, it's double chump. Play the Anticipate. Hope to draw Magma Spray, kill off one of the creatures, and then hope to draw into Harness Lightning to kill the second one. Harness Lightning is not enough, so Then he needs Glimmer of Genius into Harness Lightning.
So there is a configuration of cards that can get there.
Given that Lukas did keep a card on top, no, it's not over yet.
No, it's not over yet. Oh, no, but Benjamin Luft packs it in. It's such a small percentage chance that he could have done it, and very well done to him for not looking at the top cards of his library as well. Unfortunately, our control player going down 1-0, but Lukas Blohon spotlights on him. Congratulations so far, crushing it. As the two gentlemen examine the deck lists here, we're going to do the same thing and have a look at what's going on in these lists. Lukas Blohon, he's got a couple of copies of Dispossess, Gonti, Liliana, Obnixilis, Transgress, Grasp of Darkness, Ishkana, and another copy of Never to Return. Not a huge number of anti-control cards, although, Moraine, Liliana the Last Hope is such a nice way to close out a game quickly against a control deck if they don't have the early answer for it.
Yeah, I like all of these Planeswalkers, to be fair. Even Obnixilis Reignited, the blue-red deck actually has quite a big problem handling Planeswalkers. There's not that much. He doesn't even have the blue split card. Yeah, so...
Have a look at the sideboards of the sideboard cards of Benjamin Luft here. 2 Dragon Master Outcast, a 3 Thing in the Ice, Kefnet as a 2 of as well, Dispel, Negate, Essence Scatter, Sweltering Suns, Brutal Expulsion, and a Chantra Flamecaller. A number of different options for him to sort of shore up some of those weaknesses that his deck may be presenting.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how many really good cards. I could see the Essence Scatter and the Negate coming in.
Yep.
But that's not really improving his deck. The Kefnet, I don't think it's good enough. A little bit too slow. Thing in the Ice.
If it flips, it's a beating, but getting it there is quite a challenge.
Yeah, and it's also this kind of mind game whether or not Lukas will take out all of his Fatal Push, because if he does, then maybe even a thing like Dragon Master Outcast could be something. Although I don't like Dragon Master Outcast when your opponent is likely not taking out all of his Walking Ballistas.
We've got to go to a break, but on the other side of it, we'll see how the sideboards end up being configured and the main decks brought to bear in game number 2 of the finals here at GP Amsterdam. Stick around, everybody, because we'll be back with more live action, more live magic before you know it. And we're back live with live coverage of GP Amsterdam. It's the finals. It's the end of the tournament, my friends. It's all come down to this. Lukas Blohon up a game against Benjamin Luft. You're in the booth with Riley Knight, and I'm joined by Moraine Libert. Made the drive over from Belgium, and we're very glad to have him here, of course, as we head into the closing stages of the tournament. Moraine, blue-red control, has gone down a game against black-green Delirium. We've been looking at the sideboards, and I think it's going to change hugely after boarding here.
No, I don't see that many cards in both of these sideboards. Excuse me. There's a couple of Planeswalkers which I think Lukas is gonna bring in. Obnixilis Reignited and Liliana the Last Hope. Maybe he be bringing in Gonti as some way to get some more card advantage. Probably Transgress the Mind, also a pretty good card. You gotta know that the blue-red control deck is basically built around Torrential Gearhulk. It's trading 1-for-1 cards. Sometimes it will generate some card advantage with Glimmer of Genius, but the main way of winning is Torrential Gearhulk. And if you can grab 1 or 2 Gearhulks with Transgress the Mind, that's actually pretty powerful. Also, the most powerful spells can all be grabbed by Transgress the Mind, Glimmer of Genius, Torrential Gearhulk, Hieroglyphic Illumination.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's basically it. But these are the most powerful ones in the deck.
This deck is very, very appropriately piloted by Benjamin Luft. Luft meaning air in German, and this deck mostly is air. To be fair, it's a lot of card draw in the form of Glimmer, Hieroglyphic Illumination. We've got Anticipate, whatever else going on. Even Censor really is about as close to air as you can have in a Magic card. Magma Spray, Harness Lightning, Sweltering Suns is some removal. The only cards that actually really do anything, we've talked about this throughout the weekend, but Moraine, is we've got a Sphinx of the Final Word, we've got Torrential Gearhulks. These are the only cards that actually really have an impact.
Yep. There's the Wandering Fumarole 4 times, but yeah, things will have to go really his way if he wants these to be enough. But that being said, Torrential Gearhulk is a house.
Oh, jeez.
It's so big.
What a monster.
It generates card advantage. It usually generates a tempo boost. It is so big.
And what I know what Luft will be doing here, he'll be happy to be on the play, and he'll be happy to try to get off to a positive start here and keep Blohon off balance and not able to, off kilter, not able to enact his game plan. And Blohon, on the other hand, he has the opportunity now to really come out of the gates. He looks like he's mulliganing to 6, which is definitely unfortunate for him, but it looks like he could be, doing something like at least hoping to start off with some aggressive 2-drop kind of draws and take advantage of the synergy in his deck. Yeah,
although I do think he will cut down on some of the 2-drops. I think he's more looking to play a control-ish game. Yeah, there we have it already. He did cyber the Ishkana. Since he's got 4 Tireless Trackers and now 4 Transgress the Mind, which he put in, he can actually play a control-ish game, hoping to beat Benjamin Luft where he thought he was better, but the black-green Delirium deck actually has quite some cards that bring him card advantage as well.
Here's in Quagmire number 2 coming down here for Blohon. And it's back to Luft, who's developing his mana nicely. This draw-go game is a classic component of the blue-red control deck.
Yeah, now he can Transgress the Mind and maybe clear the coast for next turn Tireless Tracker, although he's not able to take
So Transgress the Mind coming down, Luft having a think about it. He may want to counter it. And yes, indeed, it's a disallow. So we know Transgress the Mind is going to take a card regardless, and so here Luft choosing to actually be the one in charge of which card it takes and also not give up the information. Dissenter's Deliverance being cycled as well.
Interesting choice here for Lukas. Does he go with Tireless Tracker, play a land, and run into Censor? Because that could actually... Yeah, he is going to do it, but he might actually get hit by Censor that way.
And he does indeed. Look at that. That's a bit of a blowout here for Blohon, because that Tireless Tracker would have been an absolute game changer had it stuck around for a turn or two, but Luft able to answer it and then anticipate. This is a very tidy turn for Luft.
Yeah, finally gets a little bit ahead on the mana development. It's not really mana, card development, I would say. Gets to play 2 spells in a turn. There's not a lot of times you will actually get to play 2 spells in a turn with the blue-red control, unless your opponent is also presenting 2 threats. But now, on an empty board, 5 lands and 1 Torrential Gearhulk already in the hands. Things are already looking quite good for Benjamin. The problem, though, with the blue-red control, I feel, is that it doesn't have a lot card advantage. It's got Torrential Gearhulk, it's got Glimmer of Genius, but apart from that, it is mainly 1-for-1 trades.
Yeah.
So even resolving 1 big Torrential Gearhulk sometimes is not enough. When your opponent can kill it with a Dissenter's Deliverance, for example, and then fight back right away.
6 lands here for Luft now. He chose to play that island rather than the Wandering Fumarole, representing or indeed holding on to a Torrential Gearhulk. I think he has one. And it's an interesting point you make, Moraine, because I was discussing this with Matei in rounds previous about how the blue-red control deck, it doesn't have these huge, big reload spells like a Sphinx's Revelation. A lot of them do play Pull from Tomorrow, But so much of this is about Glimmer of Genius, Hieroglyphic Illumination, these divination effects that mean that it's a game of inches. The blue-red control deck doesn't have a way to really launch itself back into the game with a huge, big draw spell.
Yeah, and it's kind of also hoping that your opponent draws a couple of dead cards, especially game 1. It's hoping that happens. But after Cyber, it's not that often that your opponent will be drawing dead cards, and then you just gotta hope that your draw is good enough with enough Torrential Gearhulks to just get past all of your opponent's cards.
This is an interesting one here. We saw Gonti, Lord of Luxury, come down, and immediately the Torrential Gearhulk flashes back a Censor. Gonti, Lord of Luxury, not a card I would have expected to have come in here. Just some extra pressure, some extra card advantage.
Yeah, I think it's mainly about card advantage. It seems like Lukas really brought in every card that gives him card advantage, kept in the 4 Dissenter's Deliverance to play the long game. I can't really blame him for going that way. I mean, if he resolves an Ishkana, he can jump Torrential Gearhulk for 4 turns, and if he then has some other cards which generate him card advantage, it's actually possible that he beats Benjamin in the long game.
Liliana the Last Hope, the next play here for Lukas Blohon. He's definitely putting his opponent to the test, and also doesn't seem to be hitting his land drops. Luft in a good position here, and I mean, a lot of the time when you're playing the blue-red control list, it feels like they've got the counterspell every time.
They're always reaching for 4 mana or 3 mana. Yeah, Void Shatter there. Also liking the art on that Liliana a lot.
Yeah.
The Comic Con version, I believe, at least the promo version.
But she is out of there anyway, anyhow, as Evolving Wilds comes down, and a Traverse as well. So we're going to see 2 lands fetched out here. Or is it going to be another creature with
There's
Delirium?
Sorcery, creature, and land.
And land, yeah. So we can find out a creature here, which will be a nice one. Tyler's Tracker, are you thinking?
Yeah, he's looking at Gonti.
Looking at Gonti. Well, that's a nice way to answer the Torrential Gearhulk. It is going to be the Lord of Luxury here. So Gonti blocks the Gearhulk, no worries, as a Death Touch 2/3. And snags Blohon a card for his trouble here.
Benjamin does have an Essence Scatter, so he'll attack for 9 and then another 9. So I'm afraid Lukas Blohon a bit in trouble here.
So we're going to see, yes, Wandering Fumarole wakes up, and in it comes for 4, in addition to the 5 from the Gearhulk, as you say, Moraine. 9 damage coming across. And is there an Essence Scatter in the hand of Luft, you said?
Yeah, but he did draw Dissenter's Deliverance, so let's take a look what he's going for now.
Oh, very interesting. This can turn things around here, and I see Grasp of Darkness in the hand of Blohon as well. That came in out of the board. He's obviously worried about those Fumaroles.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. If he goes for the creature, the Gonti, he's actually dead. If he goes for 2 removal spells, he's well in the game.
This is actually very interesting. I wasn't anticipating the Grasps of Darkness to be brought in here, Moraine. It's quite easy worried about the Dragon Master Outcast or the Thing in the Ice, perhaps.
I think so. That's the reason. I don't know. Maybe block with a 2/3 and kill the Gearhulk. Kind of surprised because his Fatal Pushes also kill all of these cards. It kills the Fumarole, it kills Dragon Master Outcast, and it kills Thing in the Ice. So a little bit of an odd choice.
Maybe so as to shrink the Torrential Gearhulk so he could block it with something else?
He did bring in all 15 cards and take out 15, so maybe he just missed that one Grasp of Darkness.
That could be it. Dissenter's Deliverance on the Torrential Gearhulk, and now Luft's got to sit up and pay attention as his 5/6 is removed with this Shatter. And it's back to Luft now. So Blohon taking a different route here.
It just shows we have all the information.
Yeah.
We know how Lukas should play, but Lukas doesn't need the information. He's just looking in the heads of Benjamin.
He's got the soul read.
Yeah,
That's
does.
it. You can see all the way into it, and a Grasp of Darkness as well. And Luft, I imagine, as surprised as anyone to see that played here. Blohon, I think that was a Blooming Marsh for his turn. And it's Gonti, the Lord of Luxury, coming down now. But there's going to be an Essence Scatter to meet that play from Blohon.
Yeah, he was about to play that land, but then thought, wait a sec, if I draw Tireless Striker, I want to be able to make a land. But he's still going to play it anyway. Mainly because he wants to run Ishkana next turn and doesn't want to lose it to Censor.
Luft now. Looks like he'll be cycling a sensor. Draws a card. Ether Hub. And ships. Only one card in hand for Luft there, Moraine.
Ooh.
What's he found?
Obnixilis. Which 5-drop is he going to go for? I like Ishkana.
Going to be the Graf Widow. What's Luft's final card here? Oh, hasn't got anything to say about it. This is a very big swing here for Blohon, who on 6 life was showing a few bits of vulnerability, but this is one of the problems with the blue-red control deck. We've talked about it. It doesn't have any reach.
No. It's looking at Glimmer of Genius as a way out now. He probably cybered out the Sweltering Suns. He's definitely not out of the game. I mean, one Gearhulk is big enough to stop all of the creatures, but it's not going to be easy from here. And wonderfully played by Lukas Blohon. We cannot forget that. He could have played that Gunty instead of the double removal, but knew that there was a high chance of something like Essence Scatter, so went with the 2 instants, killed both of these creatures, and now he's ahead. He's got to be a little bit careful that he doesn't die to an instant Gearhulk, although he can even take one more attack, and there's no Fumarole, so now he's going to lead with Obnixilis.
There's a response from Luft now, 5 mana, 4 mana. And it's going to be a Glimmer of Genius here. You would think that this would provide Benjamin Luft with the answer he needs to counter this Obnixilis, but he sends 2 below deck, so he might be out of luck here. No, negate off the top. All right. And a Magma Spray as well.
A little bit surprised to see these still in the deck, but I guess that's the concession to Grim Flayer. Yeah, makes sense.
An attack now will provoke, I would imagine, the... Oh, a Harness Lightning to take care of the Graf Widow. Yeah, sure. Goes to 2 energy after having paid 5 to kill off the spider. So, Blohon's board reduced to these 3 1/2s, and Luft looking to get his toenail back in the door here.
Lukas does have Walking Ballista. Is he gonna go for the full 6? I think, of course, there's always the threat of Sensor, but I'm pretty sure Benjamin would have cycled it in his turn if he had it. So I think it's safe to go for 6. Could also attack with the Hissing Quagmire. Yeah.
We're going to see a full tap out here for 3. 6 mana, resulting in a 3/3 Walking Ballista should it resolve. Luft now having a think about it. Looks like it's going to hit the battlefield.
Also like going for 3/3 because it doesn't die to Magma Spray. You could play it a little bit safer, go for 2 to play around Sensor, but as I said, I think Benjamin would have cycled that one. Now the question is, does Lukas attack here? He's still a little bit afraid of Gearhulk, but is there a way to really play around Gearhulk? I mean, even if you play around and say go, Benjamin will just play it, grab the Glimmer of Genius, and then he might be falling too far behind.
Not quite sure where we are in this sort of stack-based interaction here. Is it the fact that the Ballista has resolved?
Yeah, the Walking Ballista has resolved.
It has resolved.
Lucas is thinking about whether or not attacking with 2 tokens, 3 tokens, or 0 tokens.
Let's see.
He's going for 2 tokens, playing a little bit around Gearhulk. Not really sure. If you're playing around Gearhulk, I feel like it might not even be worth attacking with the with a token, because you're only doing 1 damage, but losing a spider. If he had Gearhulk, I feel like you either go with 3 or 0.
4 mana to kick things off for Luft here. We're going to see a draw spell. Glimmer of Genius. Up to 4 energy. Scry 2. It's a thing in the ice. As well as a disallow.
There's something in the eyes.
This card has opened many interesting doors for brewers up and down the tables in Modern. Hasn't really quite made the impact that many were hoping for. But interesting as a sideboard option for this list in Standard. It's going to keep both of them. And we're going to see the thing in the ice immediately deployed here. And a Magma Spray. There's got to be a follow-up play to that surely here. That Walking Ballista doesn't die to the Magma Spray.
There's going to be a second one. The question is, does Lukas shoot for 3? But I don't think he wants to get rid of the second magma spray. It's for sure second magma spray, and there's no way Benjamin would be doing this without a second one. But I don't think he's gonna shoot in response. Problem is that once he lets the first one resolve, he can only shoot once.
Yeah, this is the thing. Only one counter can get taken off here. As we see Luft go down to 14. So that's the definition of a 2-for-1 there, but still it means that the thing in the ice is half of the way to flipping. In addition to that walking ballista having been removed, Evolving Wilds is cracked.
Benjamin's got to be a little bit careful. He kept the disallow as a second card, but Lukas is attacking for every turn with the hissing quagmire. If he draws another land, it might even be 6 every turn, and then he might regret. Yeah, that's it. Lukas draws another land, so I think he's going to be attacking with 2 hissing quagmires there.
He's got one hiding on the top and one in the middle, and you can see them both being pushed to the front here. And if he said he's drawn another land here, that would enable him to attack with both. It costs 3 to activate. Yep, forest in hand. Well spotted.
Not really sure what he's thinking about.
Well, there's no other play, really, is there?
Yeah. Attack for 6. Benjamin left with a disallow, which might not do anything the whole game. Not really sure what he... Is he thinking about holding that land for Tireless Tracker? I don't think he wants.
I don't know how far that gets him back into it, to be honest here. A lot of pressure would be good. Especially considering that thing in the ice is threatening to flip very quickly. 1 card in hand for Luft. We don't know what it is. Okay, Blohon really taking his time with this decision. Moraine, you seem to be of the opinion there's not too much to think about.
Well, yeah, the problem is that if Benjamin has Glimmer into something else, then the thing in the ice flips, and you kind of want to keep back 1 hissing quagmire to block the thing in the ice if it flips. But he actually, I feel like if he does play around 2 instant or sorceries, he's even got to leave back 2 quagmires, right? Yeah, because he can first attack and then flip it. Yeah, he's just going for it. I think that's the right decision.
Attack for 6 here. Luft down to 8. After the thing in the ice soaks up 1 point of damage. Luft with 2 cards in hand. So, if he has spell into spell, he can flip the thing in the ice and steal the game.
He could even counter his own spell.
That's also true.
If he has like Magma Spray, he just plays it and disallows it.
Yeah, whatever. He's got 1 disallow, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's just got second land. Because he would have played any spell.
Yeah,
or either has 2 counter spells or a land and 1 counter spell.
So here Blohon is in a position where he doesn't want to play anything. He just wants to activate and say go. Now, Luft does have the option to disallow the trigger from the second hissing quagmire here.
Or the first one. Good point there.
So that would remove 1 counter from the thing in the ice. Luft considering the way that he wants to move forward here, this attack isn't lethal yet.
If Benjamin attacks with the 0-4, and then Lukas says no blocks, and then Benjamin flips it, is it still attacking, or is it a different card? It's still attacking, right?
I think it's still attacking.
Yeah, so if Lukas wants to play around thing in the ice flipping, he's got to keep back both hissing quagmires. Because if he keeps back 1, Benjamin will just attack. You say no blocks, then I flip it.
Yep.
If you activate before blockers, then I flip it before blockers.
So it looks like he's already gone to activate this hissing quagmire here. So it's too late for that. We're attacking with everything here. So this gives Luft an opening as he blocks, takes 4, down to 4. This match is just perched on the edge of a knife here. So Luft only needs 2 spells. Most of the cards in his deck are instants, and geez, look at this. Just some bad luck for Luft.
The only way he's winning, I think, is double disallow. If he really has that, then he was not able to play anything, and then he can now play it to flip the thing in the ice.
Disallow number 1. It looks like he doesn't have the other one based on the way that he looked at that other card here, but that could have been the absolute mother of all bluffs.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be so hot here.
Lukas has to think here, which card can he be holding that he did not play? And I think it's a second disallow is pretty much the only card which lets him lose it from this spot.
Because he wins on the spot. Previously, if he had 2 instants or had anything that he could play, he wins on the spot.
Yeah.
What could it be? Luft.
Tick, 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 tick.
Blohon racking his brains to consider what his options are here. Luft could just be sitting on an island.
He's not doing it.
He's not going for it here. The attack. Oh.
Go for it. Come on, Lukas. Go for it.
So that land was did not animate because of the disallow.
He's also got to think, do I win if my opponent's got a second disallow?
Just an attack with the 3 spiders. Oh, Lukas, here he comes. The 3 spiders picked up. Are they going to be sent in? Yes, they are. An attack for 3. Luft blocks 1, takes 2, down to 2. And Blohon plays a land. Luft, as this match comes right down to the wire here. 4 mana. It's a hieroglyphic illumination. That's going to flip everything, leaving 2 cards drawn off the hieroglyphic illumination. This is this wandering. Sorry, this. He's in quagmire. I'm sorry to say this. I'm so confused as to what's going on here. There has to be an answer to it. It is a harness lightning. My goodness me, what a thrill ride. Lukas Blohon gets beaten by Benjamin Luft. The configuration or the pattern of those cards were drawn in, and he had the second disallow. A classless move, it has to be said, showing him it, but all the same, a confusing end to the match there. Benjamin Luft seemed to be able to take that out in previous turns, but didn't manage to put it together.
That was such a nail-biter.
Really went down to the wire there. You paid for your whole seat. You're only using the absolute edge of it here. Now ease yourself back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into these sideboards. Once again, Moraine, I don't know if you're any more enlightened as to exactly how that went down here for you, but with double disallow.
Wow.
Or did he draw the disallow off the
I don't know.
off the hieroglyphic illumination?
I don't think so, because he drew at least.
The other card in hand, we've just received word, the other card in hand was a censor.
Oh, so he had the win. Or maybe, I think he had the second disallow. I don't know. I think he drew the sensor plus harness lightning from
off the illumination. It must have been like that. He must have known that he needed the answer, but all the same, I mean, that's such a tricky one to get through in those last turns there. I mean, Benjamin Luft, most of his deck is either, as we've said, card draw or removal, so he had good chances to draw the cards he needed, and in the end, an emphatic victory, although, of course, no one approving of the fact that he revealed that last disallow to his opponent after already having won. No need to do that at all. Blohon, you can see that he's taken the Fatal Pushes out of his list. You can see the Verdurous Gearhulks have also come out. Moraine making a bit of a face about that. Not happy about that decision?
Yeah, weird. He doesn't want to overload on too many expensive cards. Still got to keep enough early threats. I'm still a bit surprised by the Grasp of Darkness. I think Fatal Push a little bit more elegant at what it's trying to do. But now that you've seen Thing in the Eyes, there's certainly something to be said to keep at least a couple of removals. But as I said, I'd rather have Fatal Push at that point.
I think the what it comes down to with the Grasp of Darkness is the fact that it can shrink the Torrential Gearhulks and mean that, I don't know, it can be blocked by something like even a Rishkar or something. But all the same, it does seem to be a perplexing choice. Well, players very quick to make their their sideboarding decisions here.
Oh.
And there's also the point that's just been raised here, but Moraine, you had a next level play before when you attack with Thing in the Ice and then flip it as when the whole thing's on the stack like that. Thing in the Ice, unfortunately, printed with
Defender. Wizard's so smart.
Oh,
they've
smart.
thought about it.
They next leveled us. That's it. There we go. Wah-wah. So unfortunately, that sweet play wouldn't have been able to do it. Need that Defender rider in there to make sure there's no shenanigans of that sort there. But all the same, super sweet little way to get through that little bit there. But well done to Benjamin Luft, pulling it together and getting a victory and equalising things at 1-1 here in the finals of GP Amsterdam. Our final game in the final match of the finals of this tournament. Certainly is a pleasure to have your company, choosing to join us from around the world. Wherever you are, welcome. By all means, welcome. It's been an absolute thrill ride. It's been a pleasure for us, the commentary team here, to bring you coverage of the GP and all of the action from this Dutch tournament. It's been a great turnout. We've had a lot of people here. We've had very friendly faces up and down coming and saying hello and pestering us at all times of the day and night, which we are very big fans of, Moraine. And, of course, we've been well supported by our team behind the desks, Rich Hagen, Stephen Leeming, Neil Rigby, and, of course, Frank Carsten there rounding it out.
This is going to be a close game, no matter what. Well, unless someone's stuck on 2 lands, but let's not hope for that.
Looks like we've got a broken sleeve here from Lukas Blohon.
Very beautiful sleeves.
Got to fix that one up there.
Benjamin Luft. So he basically needed to draw the 4-mana draw spell plus a Harness Lightning. Because he was still facing 2 Hissing Quagmire. So if he doesn't draw the removal spell, Magma Spray wouldn't have done it. He needed a Harness Lightning.
Magma Spray no good.
No.
Well,
Magma Spray was good. Yeah.
Magma Spray 2 damage would be able to get rid of the Hissing Quagmire there. But in any case, he managed to pull it together with a lot of copies of all those cards. Interesting that he drew all 4 copies of Censor, though. Leaving all 4 of them in as well.
I think he's going to take a couple out maybe on the draw. Although I saw people actually doing the reverse.
Yeah, on
keeping Censor on the draw, because you get to snatch a 3-drop.
It has this spell snare-like quality to it, where you can sort of try to play a little bit of catch-up. A lot of tap lands in this format as well. People playing the cycling lands, the creature lands, even the fast lands, beyond turns 4 and so on. Speaking of which, here is the Blossoming Marsh being met by this Spire Bluff Canal. Let's get going with a Transgress the Mind, says Lukas Blohon, and we're going to have a look at the keep of Benjamin Luft. Only one option for him to take here in the Hieroglyphic Illumination, and this is a solid hand here from Luft.
Yeah, 2 removal spells and Thing in the Ice. We saw how good Thing in the Ice can actually be. I saw Benjamin win a lot of games already on Thing in the Ice. Such a powerful card, people not expecting creatures after Cyber, and then you just go there with the Thing in the Ice.
Get him. Over to Luft now after this Transgress peels away the Illumination. And I imagine we'll see Thing in the Ice brought out very swiftly indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, 1 counter. Very optimistic there from Benjamin Luft. Ether Hub providing an energy counter here.
Are we going to see zombie army?
Liliana, here it comes. This is a big problem for Luft here. A Resolve Planeswalker on turn 3. Liliana, the last hope, really can steal games. He's going to have to find some way to do it. I've said it before, the lack of reach in the blue-red control deck is one of its weaknesses. It doesn't deal with Resolve Planeswalkers very well. Blohon cycling Dissenter's Deliverance. And Luft has a very limited time here to deal with this last hope before it gets out of control. The ultimate is highly reachable, only 7 loyalty needed.
He's looking at never return on the Thing in the Ice here, I think. He knows only 2 cards from Benjamin he does not know about. And the other cards are no counters, so he might just go for it.
So Luft at the moment, we know from what Lukas Blohon saw, he's got 2 islands.
On the other hand, if he plays nothing until his Liliana gets to ultimate, all of the counters will not remove a token from a Thing in the Ice. It would be quite problematic if Benjamin draws a counter, and that means that the Thing in the Ice actually flips 1 turn earlier. Yeah, I think I like not going for it. Never return. Benjamin really needs to have Glimmer of Genius or Illumination here.
Yeah, he's going to have to find something special. As we said, 2 islands, 2 burn spells, neither of which can go upstairs to deal with this Liliana.
Also, there was still Censor last turn, I think. Yeah, so he's going in for it now. He was playing around Censor last turn.
Thing in the Ice goes away. The last piece of pressure from Luft is departing. And no 4-mana draw spell. Liliana, the last hope, 2 turns away from an ultimate here. An ultimate which I don't think any control deck on the face of the earth can
look at that answer. Fumarole.
Fumarole.
That's actually the answer
in the nick of time here. And it looks like Blohon is sitting on a bunch of lands here. At the buzzer. The Fumarole come in, putting it up for 3 from downtown. For 4 even, really. Can't even do that in basketball. So how does this sequence play out here? Luft can attack with the Wandering Fumarole, and Blohon can block with his Hissing Quagmire. However, Luft's hand is stacked with removal. Here's a Nissa.
Yeah, Luft still had the Magma Spray. So I think we're going to see... he actually cannot block with the Quagmire this turn.
No, but he can block with that plant, although that it will probably eat it as well here.
Yeah, would be too surprised to see a Harness Lightning here.
On the plant.
Yeah, because Magma Spray is cheaper.
Yep, absolutely. No, this is this is clever stuff here from Luft to make sure that he's going to have the ability to knock Liliana down several pegs. Because he needs to do it. The ultimate is unbeatable.
He was so close. Lukas Blohon, so close. Still not out of it, but it's looking harder now. He needs something big this turn. Because Benjamin will be tapped out. Still 2 Planeswalkers though. Next turn also hits in Quagmire to block.
And a Grim Flayer as well. And a plant token.
Yeah, and could also flashback, the return.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it 2/2.
So, delaying the inevitable, some might say here for Luft. As these Planeswalkers look to serve Lukas Blohon further. We are going to see this. Here we go. Harness Lightning exiled. Make a 2/2 from the Never to Return. Make a plant token as well to block. So Luft now is going to have a lot of trouble connecting with those Planeswalkers. And even the ultimate of Nissa here is going to make life tough for Benjamin Luft.
Yeah, he does have the Magma Spray for the Grim Flayer, which is only a 2/2. But he does still have to get past the other creatures. Still the zombie and the plant.
So 2 more loyalty on Nissa and 7 loyalty taken away would mean that Blohon would, at this stage, draw 7, gain 7. Draw as many cards as you have lands. Obviously, the drawing a lot more relevant than the life gain. As we see another attack.
Yeah, we're going to see a jump here with the plant.
Easy decision for Blohon here.
Protecting his Planeswalkers. Liliana and Nissa go hand in hand.
Absolutely. This well, at this stage, it looks like Liliana is actually controlling Nissa. This is the zombie Nissa. I think, as you said, it was the San Diego Comic-Con version, and Liliana, the only Planeswalker to be non-zombified in that little series there, little cycle. Very cool cards indeed, and Blohon's using them to great effect here to punish his control opponent. Luft put the shields down for just 1 turn, and Liliana right in there. She's up to 5 again. And Nissa up to 6.
Now 3 blockers for the Fumarole. He needs something big. He needs a Gearhulk. Gearhulk's flashback, Harness Lightning. That's what he needs. And even from there, he might still be in trouble.
Such a timely attack with that Wandering Fumarole. If that hadn't been the card played, geez, we'd be packing up. That'd be it.
Yeah.
We all over Red Rover, but Luft keeping his head above water here.
Lucas would be sitting on my chair already, holding the trophy.
That's it.
Chatting with you about how Liliana, the last hope, was his last hope in this matchup.
And it still could very much be here, with Blohon firmly with his snoot in front here. Whether he can convert this game into a W remains to be seen. Luft, I think, with a couple of cards in the grip, 2 or 3. Island comes down. And with 2 mana, it's another Harness Lightning.
Gotta keep the plans down.
And Chandra Flamecaller. Okay, here's some real pressure now.
We got a game.
We have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, because the Flamecaller, of course, can pressure these Planeswalkers so well indeed.
That is so big. 3/1 hasters. This is... How many does he have? 1 in the sideboard.
Just the one-off.
Oh.
Just the spiciest of one-offs here.
That is great.
Here are the 3/1 haste elementals coming in.
Lucas can double block, but
yeah, such a bad feeling blocking the elemental tokens with something like a Hissing Quagmire, Stone Raining yourself in order to save 3 damage.
Still not over.
It's not over, Red Rover. Absolutely not. Play till the final whistles, ladies and gentlemen.
Lukas really needing a second never return, destroying the Planeswalker.
Yeah, that'd really put things in a tight little parcel for him. But right now, facing down these elemental 3/1s that have flown it out of nowhere. Luft had a good old think about this.
Nissa to 7, Liliana to 6. He's not out of... He could even minus Liliana in order to ultimate Nissa. Minus Liliana, get back my Grimflayer. Problem is that then Benjamin can actually minus Chandra to kill both the plant next turn and the Grimflayer, and then get in with Fumarole. This is tough for Lukas.
So many...
he needs to draw Grasp of Darkness.
So many pots on the boil here. It's hard to keep an eye on them all. Blohon considering how he's going to configure his blocks in this stage.
Are both attacking Nissa? Because he could actually just block with one plant.
Maybe we'll get confirmation of exactly where those 3/1s are attacking. We'll ask our production team to find that out. Looks like they're both being blocked anyway, so there's no damage being done all the same.
Never return. Ishkana.
Ishkana. Wow, geez, keeps ripping him off the top of his library like an absolute maniac here. This one's going to slow things down very nicely indeed.
And he can grow the Ishkana to 6 toughness so that it would survive.
So it can't even, the Flamecaller can't even destroy it.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Does he have Delirium here?
Oh, he does not.
He does.
He does?
He does. Land,
yeah,
it is exactly Delirium. Instant sorcery, land creature.
Because he chumped with the Quagmire.
Because he chumped with the Quagmire.
Oh. This match is great.
Incredible way to finish off our tournament here, and I hope wherever you are around the world enjoying our coverage of GP Amsterdam, coming at you live, hot and fresh out the kitchen today. Moraine Leibert with Riley Knight in the booth. Matej Zadelkai's joined us throughout the weekend as well.
Is Benjamin empty-handed?
I think he is hellbent. I think he's hellbent. He doesn't have any cards in hand from what I can see.
Then I think I like the play of pumping my army.
Ishkana, get him big.
Yeah, and hope for Liliana. Benjamin will have 2 draws at that point.
Well, here is the Graf Widow. She comes down. She brings her family with her. It's a family holiday. Pile them into the Tarago and take off down the Great Ocean Road. And where do they end up? Right here on the battlefield. Up goes Liliana. Where's Nissa going?
He's going to go for a plan.
Go for the plan token from Nissa as well, just flooding that battlefield.
But then, I don't like this. If he's going to -5 Chandra, kill everything, and get in with the Fumarole. I'm not sure about this.
Okay, well, here we go. He's opening himself up to this. It does come at the cost of the Flamecaller, but, I mean, Luft at this stage, what are his other options, really?
I mean, he's still not out, because even if the Fumarole attacks, he's kind of got to attack Nissa, otherwise he's going to draw 6 and gain 6. And then Nissa will still be at 3 and the Liliana at 6. So next turn he makes a plant, puts Liliana at 7, and then Benjamin once again needs to remove. Oh no, he will still have Chandra at that point.
It's still if he.
I don't know. He needs to -5.
He needs to -5. Chandra's gone. Chandra's gone. If this is the route we take here.
So I'm not sure. I think both options were close.
Jeez, Benjamin Luft with some very tough calls to make here. And he's drawn a card off the top of his library that we don't know the identity of.
Disallow would be a great draw too. Just counter the...
Stifle something. Yeah, for sure.
These cyber cards really proving their power.
Completely changed the nature of this game here. I mean, Liliana the Last Hope is a 1-1. 2 in the total 75 here, but for sure Ishkana, that's a great point you make. Ishkana facing off against Chandra Flamecaller. So opting to go down to 3. So 2 damage to all those little Spiderinos there.
But now there's still the Graf Widow.
And it looks like Blohon is going to have the opportunity to draw 6, gain 6 here. This is going to put him so far ahead, Moraine.
Unless they're disallow.
Unless there's disallow.
He's got to take a look first. He's going to take a look first.
Oh, he's got to transgress the mind. What a timely draw. Is this a disallow?
This match.
Is it a disallow?
I think it's a gear.
It's disallow! Oh, he had it! He had the answer to Nissa. He was going to disallow the ultimate there, which would have resulted in the destruction of the Planeswalker. One blue, destroy target Planeswalker. What a card that would have been. But Lukas Blohon rips it off the top of his library like an absolute monster. Incredible stuff from him, and his reward is 7 fresh cards off the top of his library.
Let's start again. I start with 7 cards. What about you? Look at that. Gonti, Grasp of Darkness. Next turn, Liliana, The Last Hope, Ultimate.
Oh, jeez.
If he wouldn't have drawn it, he would have gone for it. And now he even gets to kill the Chandra. Oh,
because of the Grasp of Darkness. What a turnaround here. Luft loses his Flamecaller, and as a result, Liliana uncontested, and just for good measure, Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, comes back once again for another tilt at the title. Censor and an extension of the hand. Congratulations, Lukas Blohon. What a victory for him. All on the back of that Transgress the Mind. Benjamin Luft playing like a champion, setting himself up, keeping his head above water, but Blohon's deck treating him kindly. And what an emphatic result from him as we welcome you back to the booth, still recovering, still getting our heart rates back to a healthy level, because unbelievable stuff.
All 3 games were so good.
Yeah.
That was what a finals.
Well, I mean, absolutely. Summing up the tournament in such emphatic and positive fashion here, my goodness me. We'll get Lukas Blohon in here in just a second once he's seen to all of his press calls here. But Moraine, a great end to a great tournament. We've seen throughout the weekend all sorts of amazing highlights. Anointed Procession deck on camera was one of the highlights for me, with the triple Hidden Stockpile, triple Anointed Priest. Other stuff that stands out in your memory, perhaps something you could share with us?
The 80-76 Pummeler.
Also getting there.
The quarterfinals, that was just great. The finals is just, I think the finals, it's usually the game of the match of the tournament.
Yeah.
But this one was just so good.
It really earned
back and
that
forth. Both games, especially game 2 and 3, were just so great.
Game 2 really showing the postures that you can adopt in these games, the mastery of the decks that both of these players had. But Lukas Blohon just putting himself in a position to absolutely crush it. And the man, the myth, the legend, he's with us here right now. Moraine, it's been a pleasure to work with you, my friend, but you're going to have to make way for the champion of GP Amsterdam.
With
Farewell
pleasure.
to you. Absolutely.
With pleasure. What a master.
And here he is, Lukas Blohon, my man. Take a seat. Whack the head, whack those cans on your dome, and take a seat, my friend. Congratulations to you. What a performance. I mean, we've just sat here and watched one of the most tense and nail-biting finals I think I've ever seen at a GP. Game number 1, game number 2, the way that the things turn around. But in the third game, you must have felt good sitting behind that Liliana.
Oh, yeah. I mean, game 3, it was fine. Like, I had Liliana the whole time, but I didn't have anything else, but neither did he.
Yeah.
So it was like, if we both draw nothing, then I'll win with my Liliana. But then he drew some cards and he had Chandra, so that kind of pressured my Planeswalkers, and if I don't draw anything that turn, it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
But I drew Ishkana, which was like the perfect card. I mean, maybe Never Return is better, but that was one of the best
Still
cards.
get there for sure.
Yeah, so then, and the next turn when I drew the Transgress, I was like, I think like even without the Transgress, I would be in fine shape, but the Transgress was like,
But just one of the most emphatic ends to the game we've seen. I mean, we were so excited. It's got the disallow in hand. This Nissa's going to eat dirt, and then all of a sudden, you end up with the trophy on the back of the Transgress the Mind. It's been a huge weekend for you. We've seen performances from you, your friends, this sort of stuff. People touting Marvel as the deck to beat, and certainly you've done that. Green black as an archetype, is it poised for a comeback?
I think it is. I think the green black that we played, it's definitely one of the best decks. It has just good matchups against the decks that are played right now. Like zombies are a great matchup, but not many people play that. So
that's true.
I mean, Sean McLaurin top 8 the GP 14 days ago, and he built a deck, and the deck is just great.
So it was you, Hendrix as well.
And Ivan Flock.
And Ivan Flock as well. And you guys all put up pretty solid performances. Hendrix joining you in the top 8 as well. So you guys pretty happy with the result?
Oh, very happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be much better, right?
No, of course. I mean, you're here with the trophy in front of you. Apart from obviously winning the whole thing, any highlights for you that stood out from this weekend?
Well, like before the tournament, I was like, well, I'm not going to GP Las Vegas.
Okay.
Unless like I top 8 or win the GP.
Okay.
So now I kind of have to go there because I said it. So.
Yeah, better book those tickets, my man. Well, look, heartfelt congratulations from all of the coverage team. It's been fantastic to be alongside you. Stick around. We're going to end the stream nice and quick. So in the meantime, my friends, I'd like to extend not only a thank you to the support staff that have worked with me throughout this weekend. Rich Hagan, of course, Stephen Leeming, Neil Rigby, and Frank Carsten, in addition to my co-commentators, Matej Zadokai, Moraine Libert. My thanks also go out to all of the staff here at the tournament itself. Tournament Centre running a top-notch event as usual, and all of the judging staff and all of the other people who have made this event such a success here. The players who all turned out in their droves in Amsterdam here in Holland to take part in this event, but of course the biggest congratulations and the biggest thanks go to you, the viewer, throughout the weekend. Thanks for your appreciation, your patience and understanding, and of course the love of the game that brings us all together at these GPs. It's been an absolutely fantastic event, and it's been a pleasure to bring it to you. And of course, don't forget that really we're all winners for having taken part. Stick around. GP Omaha is coming your way before very much longer, but it's Riley Knight on behalf of the European coverage team saying good night.